At this point, let me begin by asking Secretary Hegseth about congressional intent. We worry about the explicit choices that the Congress has made and that have been enacted into law by the president in the fiscal year 2026 budget. The decision came to us surprisingly to zero out destroyers, even though Congress intended for reconciliation to give the industrial base stability with a third DDG in fiscal years 2027 and in 2029. I've asked this of every nominee from the department who has come before us about honoring congressional intent. We will put funds in the reconciliation bill, working with the House and working with the administration to get the signature on the bill. And we will make clear alongside that the specific congressional intent. I've asked this of every official, and I will ask you as well, Mr. Secretary, do you commit to following congressional intent unequivocally on reconciliation?
Well, thank you for the question, Mr. Chairman. Yes, our team looks forward to working with this committee, both through the budget process and reconciliation, and would acknowledge, just as a starting point of the conversation, that we are looking at 2 bills and 1 budget at the Defense Department. So as we have discussions about allocation, we may sometimes be talking about different numbers because of that, but from our perspective, we built a budget tied to $960 billion.
Are you qualifying your explicit yes? Because we have not had that from any of the other witnesses that have come before us. If our congressional intent, alongside the numbers in reconciliation, is explicitly expressed, do you commit to following congressional intent unequivocally in reconciliation?
Yes, we just wanted to clarify the entirety of the budget from our perspective.
Well, thank you very much. Now, you said once before that, and I quoted in my opening statement, Mr. Secretary, that going below 3% of GDP would be very dangerous. That was your testimony in January. Of course, you know well that we're asking our allies in Europe and NATO to go to 5%, and it has been the intention of most of us on the committee that the United States lead by example and, in fact, follow the peace through strength example of President Reagan and his administration in getting to 5%. I understand that if you put reconciliation and the budget requests together for this year, it exceeds 3%. But if we go back to that same baseline for the next 3 years after that, we'll be under 3%. We intend to fix that. But do you still agree that going below 3% would be a, quote, very dangerous, unquote, choice?
Yes, sir, and so does the President of the United States, which is why this budget increases from FY25 13%, puts us at 3.5% of GDP on defense, and we feel like is a generational increase in defense capabilities. And when you add that alongside the $30 billion we've already found in savings and repurposed, that's where I get to the $143 billion in additional spending in defense, which we think is substantial. And you agree then, Mr.
Secretary, that in future years, it would be very dangerous to go below that 3%?
As I said in my remarks, we're going to match our budget to threats. And so, yes, in the future, we anticipate threats like we have today. And so I would anticipate a robust budget in the future, yes.
Would you please be kind enough to answer my question? Would going below 3% in future fiscal years be, quote, very dangerous, unquote, as you said in your statement in January?
Yes, sir, and I believe the President of the United States definitely feels the same way.
Thank you, sir. Senator Reed.